Hello, everyone. Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle, and we have a very interesting fan requested comparison between Thierry Pastel and Andrew Jacked, part of your fan requested Friday lineup. So, you guys got the original one up to 500 likes. Congratulations. These two dudes have some of the best abs of all time. Of course, if they were the same size, we might be able to see that a little bit better. Thierry Pastel, he's like 5'2" to Andrew Jack's over 6 feet tall. So for this one, we will not only look at this, but we will also, we'll give Thierry Pastel what, a foot? We'll give him a few inches, guys. We're gonna make them about the same height. Of course, Thierry stands a little bit straight-legged, more straight-legged, so you have to take all that into consideration. But either which way, it's going to be a fun one. Very aesthetically pleasing, both of these physiques. Let's go through the shots. And what a matchup. What a matchup indeed. You can already see, you don't even need to make Thierry Pastel the same size. You can see that these guys have a lot of similarities in the way they are built. But I cannot wait any longer. Let's make him huge. Imagine if Thierry... Could you imagine if he was this big? He has better calves. You couldn't really see that in the normal-sized comparison. Better arms, too. All in the favor of Thierry Pastel. Wow, guys. Wow. He was incredible. Like I said, if he wasn't that short. Here is the front lat spread. And if this is your first time being introduced to Thierry Pastel, he competed, I believe, as far back as the late 80s, early 90s. He was a mainstay in that early 90s region. Competed at the Olympia, I believe, 92, 91. A little bit later on, too, but he lost his sting. He was better earlier on, in the early 90s, rather. Now, without further ado, and I knew you guys would want to see this, here is them at the same height. And yes, Thierry, he had no weak points. He would be competitive today. A lot of people said he was ripped off because of his size, because of his height. But you know what? That just goes to show you that genetics counts in bodybuilding. It's not like you can train to be a Mr. Olympia. You have to have the genetics, and then you go ahead and train to be Mr. Olympia. Yeah. Not too many Mr. Olympia champions, 5 feet 2 inches. Here's the side chest development. And very similar, I would suggest, in not only the front shots, aside from the arms, the physique, that front double, they were virtually the same. Front lat spread, quite similar, as well as the side chest. Now make them the same size. And yeah, I don't like this version of Thierry. It's hit or miss. The pictures that you can get, you can take what you can get with these early 90s, late 80s bodybuilders. Photographers were few and far between. So yeah. Here's the side tricep, and this is interesting. I would actually probably give this one to Thierry Pastel. He looks more aesthetically pleasing. Now, to be fair to Thierry, and to give you guys a treat, make him the same size, and look at this matchup. Wow, would that be a great bodybuilder to have around nowadays? This is like this would be your number one contender. I'd give him an edge over, no fooling, over Andrew Jacked. What a fun one. Here's the back shot. And this is the one and only back shot we have, guys. Andrew, he has better lat insertions. Keep in mind, Thierry not even really hitting the shot to spec. But I'll be darned, Thierry's got some pretty good condition. Now make them the same size. It was funner, the other shots. This back shot, not quite as fun. I'd still probably give it to Jacked. Obviously, he's hitting it more to spec. But look at that one arm anyway. The one arm Thierry Pastel is displaying. What a great one. Not as good, I would say. He doesn't have the impact from the back that he did from the front. Now here's the front. And you can see that, guys. See, from the front, there was guys from the 90s. A lot of them resemble that remark. Excellent fronts. Sean Ray, for instance, Kevin Levrone, Flex Wheeler. And their backs, they didn't suck by any means, but not as good as these fronts. And this is an unbelievable resemblance, guys. Make them the same size. You see that? Andrew Jack might even be getting him. These guys are identical. Identical. Telling you right now, Andrew may be getting an edge because he has the feathering in the quad, but I don't know, guys. Who has the best abs and thigh in town? Andrew Jack has. Andrew Jack has. Who has the best abs and thigh in town? Thierry Pastel has. Le Thierry Pastel, the Frenchman. They both do. Here's the most muscular. And, well, I don't think either guy was known for the most muscular. Or, I mean, Thierry was known for it, and, yeah. Here's the size, equal size. The most muscular was not a mandatory shot, guys. Back in the early 90s, it was like in the 80s or maybe the 70s. It was almost as if it was. They all hit it. The crab position. They all hit the crab. And then in the 80s, it kind of faded away. In the 90s, with Dorian Yates around, the most muscular was not the most important shot. But where am I going with this? I don't know. I tend to trail off when it comes to bodybuilding. Thierry Pastel, it just wasn't his time. If he was around now, he would be a shoo-in for either Classic or 212. I would suggest 212. Put some beef on this. Keon Pearson, times 10 with those abs. Look at those abs. And versus Andrew Jack, might even give him an edge. Liked him in the front double, guys, a little bit better. Of course it was close. Andrew Jack, he was right there every step of the way. If you make him the same size. If you made Thierry his actual height, Andrew Jack, he was running wild all over the place. So, yeah, for sure, size matters. Height matters. What do you think? Arnold Schwarzenegger beat Franco Columbu every time. Hit thumbs up on the video. Have a great one, guys.